Who is your best friend? At this age and stage in your life, do you have a best friend? When I asked you who your best friend was, did you think back to when we were really young in grade school and you had your best buddy? As we get older, having friends is really important to our health and well-being and our overall sense of being involved in the community. But how do we find new friends as we get older? When we were in school, we had friends. They were friends. We may have had best friends, but we had all these kids and we went from, I don't know, kindergarten to grade 7 or 8, depending on your school system. And then in high school, we had our other friends, and we may have started to become a little bit more particular about who we hung out with. Then we went on to university, college, or maybe out to work. And then we started working. And again, we had friends, we had colleagues, we went out for lunch with a couple of the people. We celebrated as a group for holidays or events, depending on what happened. Boomers did more of that. I understand that the Gen Zs don't do after our events anymore, but that's okay. That's their choice. And then your friends started to get married. You may have attended those weddings. And you got married maybe and had a family. And so your friends are all starting to shift. They've got kids doing something. You've got kids doing something. So now your friends are more the parents of the children your children hang out with. And that goes on for several years until your children start drifting away. They don't want to play hockey anymore. They don't want to do ballet or whatever it was that you were so actively involved with. And your job still provides you with friends, colleagues, and then people start moving away. Maybe the job has changed. Maybe they're laying people off. And then there comes a time when it's time for you to retire, or maybe you got laid off. So now, who's your best friend? Do you have a best friend? Do you have a sibling who you've had as your stone or your anchor or your rock all the way through your life? Who are you the best friend to? I bring up this topic because recently a friend of mine has told me that she's moving away. We moved to a small rural community about 11 years ago. By chance, I met someone who knew about this group, and they brought me along to have breakfast every Friday at one of the little restaurants in another community, not my own. The women were so welcoming. But I was an outsider initially because I didn't have their history together. I didn't know what their community was doing. I didn't understand some of the things that went on. But they included me. And over time, it became very comfortable. It was kind of a thing you look forward to. Friday morning with the girls. Then COVID hit. I got a Zoom subscription to keep us together, to make sure that we all stayed in touch, that if we had issues or challenges, the group was there to help each other out. In the fall of COVID, when we were allowed to associate at a distance, I had everybody here with their partners for dinner. We ate outside, we were well spaced out, and everybody was grateful to be able to get together because it was a group. And I don't know that were special group, two people who hung out together. It was the group. The group provided a sense of security, a sense of stability. We have reconvened in a different location. Everybody knows that table, Friday morning, that's for the women. I don't make it there as often as I did at the beginning. I just have other things that are going on. But I know every Friday morning I can go there And there will be 8 to 9, 10 other women there. And we've brought on some new people, but it's something you can rely on. It brings comfort. They're not my best friends, but they're friends. Now, 2 of the women are leaving. One was sort of the matriarch of the group. She was responsible for tracking birthdays, getting a birthday card, surreptitiously passing it around the table. But it was the other one who has been a bit of a mother figure to me because she's quite a bit older than I am, who I thought I was really going to miss, and I struggled with that. I don't see her that often. I see her Friday. Every once in a while we get together at her place to have coffee. She loves to bake, and we have gardening in common. And I thought, but she's moving. And then I realized that, you know what? She will always be close by. We have technology. We can meet with each other online. I email everybody all the time. We'll be able to stay in touch. And that's really what it's all about. I don't need to see her every day. I know she's there. I know if I pick up the phone and tell her I need to talk, that she'll be there for me. I don't know that I'm her best friend, but she'll be there for me no matter where she is. So, pick up your coffee, call your best friend, talk about the way things used to be maybe, and talk about getting together, because friendships are important.